Have you ever felt that your fears were truly holding you back from really experiencing life? In this video, I talk about some of my travel fears and why it's important to overcome them. I've had my fair share of moments that have pushed me outside of my comfort zone and fears that have arisen over my traveling. And I'd probably have to say there are a few that are quite prominent and some that have even remained a little bit. But I'm going to discuss those all in the video later. But they range from stepping outside of my comfort zone, dining alone, family life, to taking things for granted. And I'm going to explain all in a moment. Remember when I was in Thailand, it was my first solo trip. It was the first time that I'd eaten alone and I felt really uncomfortable. It was such a weird feeling, looking at everybody around and couples or groups laughing, joking, and I'm sitting there on my own eating. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know what to do. It was probably the most uncomfortable meal ever. And I thought, I don't like this. I don't like it at all. It definitely threw me outside of my comfort zone. And I think I didn't know and I didn't think about those situations until I actually got into it. And then once I was in it, I was like, oh, I don't like this. So that was a fear. But I do think there's something empowering about eating alone. And as you do it more and more, you then start seeing it as nothing. I think that first time it can be a bit daunting, but it really isn't. And I used to think that people were looking, they're looking, oh my gosh, what do they think of me? I'm sitting here on my own, they must think I'm a weirdo. People haven't got time. They're more concerned about what's going on in their life. They don't care about what you're doing. Really is that way. We think that they care, they don't. And if they do even notice it, which most people don't, but if they do notice it, it's a very empowering thing. If someone can sit there confidently and be able to eat a meal and be happy and content, that's you owning everything. So for me, I think I started off that way, I get it, and that was a big fear once I was in it. But over time, you get to learn to deal with it and deal with the awkward moments till it becomes not awkward anymore. And it's fine, you're just eating a meal. Like everybody else, everyone's got to eat, right? Why do we put this big thing on it, So that was probably one. Another one, traveling, would be, and this still plays to date in certain situations, I do feel, and it all all of these things stem down sometimes to what other people think, but it's all to do with my speaking and Spanish and my grammar. Now, I think it's good that we try and we should always try, but sometimes I get that, I don't know, that bit of a knot. And it's almost like you're at school when you're like going to do something and you're a bit nervous and you're like, I get that when I'm speaking sometimes. It's getting better and better. And that's supposed to happen. You have to keep on doing the things and throwing yourself outside of the comfort zone. But I've got this real thing about it's not going to be right, I'm saying it wrong. And it's all in my head. That's all ego talking at the end of the day. And it's not about perfectionism. You know what? Just get in there. And this is what I have to tell myself. People appreciate you trying to speak the language. You will not be able to speak the language without making the mistakes. And in order to make the mistakes, you're going to have to speak to people. That's how it goes. If you want to learn something, you don't just wake up one day and you're fully fledged, confident, fluent speaker in another language. You've got to get, get up, fall down, get back up again. It's part and parcel of the learning process. But that was another thing. And I had to really talk to myself. I had to really say, look, you're going to do this. So I forced myself to go out and ask various, there was fruit and veg vendor stalls and people selling grilled meats outside. And I wanted to ask what meat it was and what vegetables. And I pushed myself and I said, no, you are going to do this. Jump outside of your comfort zone. You are doing this. Get out there and ask a few questions in Spanish. I was like, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to do this. do it, but I made myself do it. And it wasn't as scary as I thought it was. And that's the thing, it never normally is. So I would say when you're in those situations, just push yourself outside of the comfort zone, because you know the feeling after you've done that and you've said, oh my gosh, I've just done that, wasn't that bad? You feel so good about yourself afterwards. It's amazing. So just push yourself outside of the comfort zone. No one's looking at you and laughing at you and thinking, oh my gosh, she's said it in such a bad way. No, people are happy that you're actually trying to learn. Do you ridicule someone that's trying to speak your language, who's trying to converse with you? No, you wouldn't do that, because somebody's actually making the effort. So they're not going to do the same to you. They're trying to understand and help. And that's how you learn, you see. But that was one of my fears. And I'll probably say the last main one, which I've touched upon before in other videos, is just traveling so long and missing the bandwagon, missing starting a family, missing meeting somebody. And I had a really great comment from somebody in one of, I think, my other video, and so thank you. And it was all about, things will come, you don't have to worry, just embrace it. And just a great reminder that just need to stop looking at the future and just be present. And you never know, I might meet somebody while I'm traveling. Yeah, that was a big one. And lastly, I would probably say I fear traveling so much, and I love it. I really love it. This is where I get a bit, I hope it don't happen. So that fear is real, is when you're traveling a lot and you're seeing loads of beautiful things. I often wonder, do you then become desensitized to it? Do you just go, oh, it's another mountain, or it's another beautiful coloured sea, or it's another beautiful landscape, another beautiful desert, another dolphin, another, I hope that it doesn't get to a point where you go, oh, I've seen this all before, and you don't get excited, because travel, for me, I love it so much, I wouldn't want it to be like that. So that's what scares me. I don't want to ever lose the magic and the joy of travel and thinking that, oh, I'm just used to seeing this now. No, that sounds really spoiled, and I'm so grateful for what I'm getting to do. I just hope it never gets to a point where it becomes the norm, if that makes sense. Oh, it's just another day traveling. No, I love it. And I don't want it to be the norm, if that makes sense. So that's one of my fears, is if traveling so much then takes the pleasure out of something that you've enjoyed all your life and has given you so much. And that is probably one of the big ones. So it's quite natural to have fears and things that arise when you're not used to it. It's very, very hard sometimes to step outside of your comfort zone. And fears arise when we're not used to doing something and it's a change, it's something new. But what I will say is that out of those moments where you're pushed outside of your comfort zone, out of those initial fears can come great strength, and all you need to do is just take that first step. Take that first step, push those boundaries, and you'll be amazed at what you can do, and you'll also be really pleased with yourself. So it may be daunting, it may feel like it's the most awkwardest thing ever, but I do promise you certain things will get easier and easier, and just give it a go. Step outside of your comfort zone, because you've got so much strength in you, and you can do these things that you say that you can't. Of course you can. Just give it a go and see what happens. And I'd love to find out more about some of your challenges, some of your fears, whether you've actually taken that step to step outside of your comfort zone. Leave your comments below and let me know. Share the journey with me and others. If you've liked this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment. And I'll see you in the next video.